Leashed or off leash? Which is better? Can be a hot topic. Let's take a look.
It's again, Anthony, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And so, all right, we're looking at, I see a feeder. Yep. Jaeger here. I see Jaeger. Ready to take off. Come on, bud. So you said you think the hit side is...
Deer came from the right side of the feeder, came across, head sticking straight up, got right past the feeder and stopped. That's where I shot. He ran to the corner of the woods down there about where them two pine trees are, and I shot a second shot, but I'm not sure what that shot did. I'm sure the first shot was a hit just by the way he acted.
Okay.
For this track, we're down in Alabama, and we had a track referred to us by our friend Crystal. And I'm going to use this track to show a lot of lessons learned and talk about a lot of points and pros and cons between leash tracking and off-leash tracking. Alabama, is, as many know, is an off-leash tracking state. The use of catch dogs off-leash is very common. We track on-lead. It's how we work. So as this unfolds, I'm going to use some opportunities to kind of talk about the pros and cons, my perspective as a leashed handler, and some of the signs and lessons learned from this track. I'd be curious to hear y'all's opinions, so please feel free to comment, leave questions below. Enjoy the track.
Do you have a feel for consistent bedding area for these deer?
They just passed through here.
Okay.
That's the only way I've ever caught them here, passing through. I've never caught them bedded. I mean, I might run into a doe up in these trees sometimes bedded down, but other than that, I've never found them bedded down here much. But I keep enough corn that they can stay coming.
Was he alone?
He was alone with his head straight up in there.
Okay.
He was the only deer that crossed here since I've been here this morning.
So was he actually in the green patch? I want to. Is that stick there for? Did you?
I did not come down here, period.
Okay.
He was somewhere between this feeder and the. Not. He couldn't have been too far in that green patch.
But you think he was standing in the green patch at the first hit?
He went in right there.
Okay.
That's where he went in. He came out somewhere right here.
I want to see where Jaeger turns. What I'm looking for is him to do a turn.
I didn't come look for blood or anything.
All right, Jaeger, we're tracking. Come on. Okay, whoa. So you think he was ballpark here?
I would say somewhere right up there here.
Jaeger, we're tracking. Find him. Okay. Find him, Jaeger. So he ran straight away from you?
I'm not sure once he got here. Once he hit the woods, I can know what it's doing.
He's a little searchy right now. Hang on. Jaeger, whoa. Good boy. I got blood. All right. So first, hang on. He really needs to move or he's gonna not want to go. Just stand back here, please.
Yes, sir. I see the blood.
First blood here.
Let me get up there and tell him to go.
It's really gonna throw him off. We want to recreate this. It's better if he goes, but you can film that if you want. That's one thing with, come on, Jaeger, good boy. Blood. It's getting soupy. Good boy. Say again? Oh. I'm seeing a well-used deer trail, but he's also still on the blood. Where'd he go, Jaeger? Where'd he go, bud? Could you hear him going through water? Good pool of blood here, but it looks like muscle blood. Good boy, Jaeger. Yeah, and here. The risk is there's blood here. He jumped here. Still on blood here, but he's going. It's tough, but this is kind of nondescript looking muscle blood to me. Where do you think you were aiming? What? That's your 0-inch high at 100? Good boy, Jaeger. And what time was the shot again?
8:30.
2 hours. And vocalizing is not a good sign. That tends to be on live deer, and we got consistent blood. Good boy. Got blood, blood, blood. Where'd he go? You may well be running at this point. Good boy, still on blood. I'm wondering if you hit low and leg, my man. Vocalizing is not a good thing with him. Hold his leash for me. I see the blood over here. He crossed here. You want to hook me there? I got you. Y'all want to come on under?
You'll often hear experienced trackers say that they can tell in the first few hundred yards whether or not the deer is alive or not. This is a great example of that. I have all the signs I need right now to call this track off. We've gone 350 yards, there's no beds, Jaeger's barking. That's it. I have enough information already to know that this deer is alive. Now, I always want to find out more, and I always like to take the chance to do more and go more, but I could have called it already.
Yeah, I still got blood here. But we're getting into that range where it'll just start to peter out if it's a leg hit. Still on blood. Where'd he go, Jaeger? Find him. Hang on. Oh, Jaeger, whoa. Whoa. He's getting into I'm hunting a deer now mode. I haven't seen blood in a while now. Now we're at least in the bedding areas the bucks like to die in, but here's blood. He's still on him, but I can't say that I have faith that he's a dead deer. And he may well be moving on us right now. Here's more blood. I think he was bedded back there, and now he's running again. See blood again. So good boy, Jaeger. He stood there for a bit and bled. Where'd he go, bud? Yeah. You're probably going to be better off with catch dogs. He's on blood. I mean, we're tracking him. But we've gone quite a ways with no beds. All the blood I saw was kind of nondescript muscle blood. If it was a 2 hours, it's been. If it was a fatal shot, we should be on him by now. Here's blood, and see how it's starting to clot on us? See how that blood is hanging?
Yeah.
And clotting? That's usually the sign of just a muscle hit. See, I can stay. You want to film that. That clotting blood like that is usually...
Hold on, let me get it fixed. Hold it up again.
This is usually indicative of a muscle wound or a lower leg wound. Obviously, Jaeger barking. If it's a vital organ hit, he'll be silent. It's a live deer, he barks. There's still blood. I mean, consistent. But you can see it clotting high on brush now. We'll continue a ways. It's hard to leave blood. But my guess is this deer is in front of us and going. And is there nobody hunting back here?
No.
And we're just not going to be able to catch up to him on lead. There's blood again. A lot of clotting there. It's a good bit of clotting right here. Let's have faith that he's weak and bedded. Yeah, he does. Still on blood. You can see he's running here. Still on blood. Still bleeding. You may want to call Crystal back if you're dead set on finding him.
Sorry?
If you're dead set on finding him, it may be best calling Crystal and having her come with her catch dogs. We've gone. I mean, we're just pushing the deer at this point, making it harder if you want to put catch dogs on him.
If we don't find him, I'll probably just leave it alone for today.
Okay. I mean, pretty soon, I'm just gonna have to call it because these are deer on lead. We just won't tend to find.
This has really transitioned now from a recovery tracking effort to a tracking proof of life effort. And, you know, I always want to make hunters have some closure and not wonder. But, you know, I've really let it go pretty far at this point. It's hard work on Jaeger. And I want to let this go. I'm going to start fast forwarding through a bunch of just a lot more of this. And I'll cut out in certain places, but, you know, I'll let you get all the way to the end of it. And we'll talk about a bunch of more points along the way.
You may have gone that way. I may have just confused Jaeger, but no, we got blood, clotting blood here. Blood. Blood, blood. Where'd you lose him there, Jaeger? Stay put. Jaeger's tongue's bleeding too. He's done this. Figure it out, bud. We've gone a really long way. No beds, clotting blood, barking dog. All these signs are of a non-lethal hit. One thing about tracking is, you know if the deer's alive or dead. Your deer right now is alive. Now that's not saying that off-lead handlers may be able to bay him. See the blood there?
I see it.
So it's still moving. He got a little confused back there, and but I gotta start keeping Jaeger's safety in mind at this point, and more tracks we want to do today. So I can't blow him out on what'll be a deer we just probably can't catch up to. Yeah, he's running again. There's blood way up high. See this branch right here? See how fresh that blood is and how high it is? He's just bounding through this stuff at this point. A Jaeger won't stop, is the thing.
I'm with you. Whatever you decide to do. Going this way that we're going, then we're going back toward the property line.
Okay. I'd say as long as we're heading back that general direction, I'm fine, and we'll start working our way back. I'll pull Jaeger off here. He doesn't like it, but
like one of the other ones did.
One thing about wounded bucks is if they have one habit that I see consistently, it's they will do whatever they can to get back to their favorite bedding area. And a slope like this where they can bed and catch some rays in cover would not surprise me. I got blood here again, clotting. He's still on your deer. Where'd he go, Jaeger? He went up here. I see a turn again. I see blood high on this stick. He went in here. Again, I see blood high on this debris. See blood. I got blood all. Man, he's climbing again.
At this point, even my curiosity and stubbornness is taking over, but this is really hard on Jaeger, and we'll touch more on that later. But catch dogs, you know, can kind of bound through this stuff and jump over it just like the deer can. Jaeger's trying to pull and plow me through it. It's not fair to him.
He's looping back. He went up. I think your buck is... At one point he was here close watching us if he's not dead here. Because when they do those J hooks, he just did a J hook to watch his backtrack down there. So he knows we're either on him seeing blood still. Jump over this stuff. You're still on blood up here. Hang on, pal. Hang on. Whoa. This is the risk of harnesses, especially off lead. The fact that Jaeger's quiet now, at least I find interesting. But this deer's going a long, long way. Hang on, pal. This may be where we call it off. Yeah, there's blood. So it's really hard to leave a track when you're on last blood, but hang on, bud. I gotta do it. Okay, Jaeger, we're calling it off. Good boy, you found him. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, you get so confused when this happens. Good boy, let me see your face. Good boy. Good boy, but we gotta call it off. Where you guys at? I know it's so hard to call them off, but your face is getting cut up. He's just not dead, bud. He's just out there. Well, man, I'm sorry, but I got blood here. He went that way. He's just, I checked the tracker. We've gone 1.2 miles from the hit site. He's just not dead, man. I hate to say it, but yeah, he won't stop, and I gotta protect him. These bucks like this will, Jaeger, no. You know, my job on the tracking team is really to know, we prove the deer's alive. He's gone 1.2 miles. He's moving up mountains, he's making turns, he's just moving at this point. No point in continuing on. And my job as a tracker, my most important job on the team is to protect him. So he's already cut his tongue, he's bleeding. I can tell we're on the deer because there's blood high, you know, that's not from him. And he's barking, and barking is an indicator of just a live deer. And so these bucks won't stop. We'll back out of here, and then it'll be up to the hunter if he wants to put another team on it later on in time. But it's tough. It's tough to walk away from blood, but all indicators are this is not a dead deer yet. Come on. Jaeger, come on. You found him. Come on.
Based on my tracking and hunting experience, I suspect that shot was low, right below the rib cage, outside of the vitals, and just kind of through that skin and lower muscle. Obviously, we'll never know, but I highly suspect that was it. And now let's look at the overall track itself and the Onyx overview here. So, just a quick summary, 1.2 miles of track, took about 45 minutes. Total blood was the entire way once we converted near the hit site until the end there where we called it off. Now, this doesn't look like much when you look at it from the high level, but if you zoom in, you can start to see some of these backtracks that I was talking about a lot. So the track begins on the right, and then around 350 yards in is where we cross the fence and went into the clear cut. Not long after that, if you recall, Jaeger would kind of overshoot and come back and start refining the line. Those are inflection points I've kind of highlighted there where a deer was likely basically doing J hooks on its own track to watch itself. Now, if you ever track a deer in the snow, you'll see this anyway. A deer will walk a trail in the snow. When they want to bed down, they'll kind of do a loop back onto itself where they can watch anything that's actually walking the path they took. We'll do the same thing when they're wounded. So as the deer is moving, he then basically stops, stands there, and watches to see if anything coming. So every time we see these little inflection points that I've highlighted. So our path is in teal. You can see the red arrows. Those are all likely points where that deer walked a ways, walked a little to the side, looked back on its own track, stood there for a while. As soon as he saw us coming and knew we were going to catch up to him, he took off again. And they'll do it over and over and over. And if it's a non-lethal wound, they'll simply off and on leash, you'll simply never catch up to that deer. Now, bay dogs may in fact then be able to get to that deer, bark, keep it in position, hold it there until the hunters can catch up and place a finishing shot on the deer. So, what's better? Off leash, on leash? Did we do a good job here? Is this a successful track? These are all, philosophical questions, but there's some insights into what we've seen and may help you out in the field. The other important lesson I want to kind of highlight here, and my apology to Jaeger in this case, was, I knew what I knew a third of the way into this track. I didn't need to let this go as far as I did. And in the end, he was pretty beat up. He had cut skin all over his eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and he was still in distress a couple days after getting home. And we did some more tracks, more video on that later, but it's not really fair to him. I know his prey drive, I know how good he is, but it's on me to take better care of him. So, sorry, Jaeger, and I learned a lot myself on this one. Thanks for watching. You can always track us down at Jaeger Tracks. Feel free to comment below. Always happy to answer any questions. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe. It helps the channel, and we have more stories coming from Alabama. So stay tuned.